Why is it so hard to call people what they prefer to be called? Why have I struggled so much about it? I really wish I knew. Thank you for being here and listening to the story of my brother. So, Morton and I were in Utah for our 1-year anniversary, and it was February, March, April, May, June, yeah. We had really hoped that we would make it there in time before my Uncle Steve passed away, but we missed him by like 4 months. So that's why we were going there for the summer, because usually we were going in the winter. And if I remember correctly, that night that my sib talked to me, it was a really strange day. I had made plans with a friend and then just felt really hurt and disappointed about those plans being brushed off, and I was still traveling with Covenant players at that time, so I just felt like, well, I'm only here for such a short time, so you better take advantage of me while you got me. So I was just in a weird place, and my sib and I just hung out. They tried to make me feel better, and I was like, let's do something crazy. Let's just like cover our faces in weird random colors and makeup and just play. And that turned into an epic photo shoot. And I remember at one point when we were in front of the mirror slathering weird colors on our faces. Well, it was me doing it. Then I was like, oh, you gotta let me pluck your eyebrows. You're looking like a boy. And you gotta let me fix that. And as I was plucking those eyebrows, tears were running down my sib's face, and I just didn't make any connection, obviously. And looking back now, I can see how painful that was. Not just the pain of eyebrows being plucked, but of being mocked about looking at the thing that you want to look like, and having that taken away just because I was, playing helpful big sister, which is not a role that I really filled that much. I left home when I was 19, and my sib was only 12 then. So then, with triangles and swatches of color on our faces and dramatic lipstick and lined eyes, I was like, wouldn't it be so fun to go to the park and take pictures of each other? And yeah, we did that. We went and we took pictures of each other on swings and playing on playground equipment, and it was just a really, really fun time, and we got some really cool shots, actually. I wonder if I could actually find any of them. Oh yeah, there was one on Facebook. So, I have no idea how the conversation came around to things, but I know that I had been bothered for such a long time, wondering, why does my sibling hate themselves so much? Because I knew that there was cutting happening. I knew that I would find socks with dried blood on them, and pieces of broken glass, and box cutters, and I just couldn't understand why nothing was happening, why it wasn't getting dealt with. And somehow the conversation went to why they hated themselves so much. And there was this TV show or other. They didn't tell me straight out. They had to make me go hunting for the answer. And there was some TV show where there was a character who was the same as him. And through that, like, oh, I'm like this character in this TV show, so I had to IMDb that TV show and look at that character and see what their deal was. And it was just so much information at once. And my sib was like, don't tell anyone. It's fine, it's fine. I know that it's not something I can do. I'm just gonna suck it up, marry a dude, and be fine. Just forget it. Just forget you heard anything. It was a long, long process of... I don't remember when I stopped feeling comfortable using female pronouns. And I got a lot of advice from a lot of different people. And some of it was, this is right, this is wrong. I just felt so alone and so confused. But looking back now after so many years, I know that I did have to grieve that sister. I know that sister, that girl, doesn't exist. This kid was always called a tomboy. They were. They were always happier wearing more boy clothes, more and the happiest tinkering around with one of our uncles who loves cars and fixing things, and was super competitive, super tough in this way. I know I missed a lot because I wasn't around much because I was busy traveling the world. And I know my parents feel like they've messed up somehow, that they were wrong. Maybe they feel that they were wrong to encourage the tomboy behavior, to give tools and boy things for presents. But there's so much to say about gender stereotypes, and it's like, girls can like all those things too. And being a girl and being a boy is so much more than the things that you like. I know that I just need to practice saying boy and he. That's just something that needs to happen because it's been long enough. And I just don't understand why the death of an old personality, of an old expectation, has to take so long. It's like, no, they're not gonna suddenly be the definition of a girl from one day to the next. And even if they were to completely look like a girl, that doesn't mean that they would feel like one. I cried so much over the loss of the sister that I had. But there does come a point when you say, okay, that definition of the person is gone, but they are still there. They still have all the same memories. They still have all the same character traits, positive and negative. They're still there. They haven't died. So it must feel really awful to a trans person for people to act like they're dead altogether. Just because they don't want to be called by an old name or old pronouns. I'm going to show a picture of my sib from back in the day. Growing up, this was Becky back in the day. Becky Bear and Katie Bug and Kate and Beck. We look so much alike. But now, my sibling, my brother, has a deep voice and has mustache fuzz, and everybody that knows him uses male pronouns except for pretty much people in my family. Some members of the family do, some members don't. And for so long I've been so scared about thinking that no matter what I use, I'm using the wrong one. And I have not felt comfortable using female ones or hearing female ones because I know how much it hurts him. Well, I don't know. I don't carry around all those same feelings, but I've tried to imagine. But I've been so scared because no matter what I do, it's wrong to somebody. I'm feeling like if I'm gonna let my parents down or let my sibling down. Why is it so hard to call people what they prefer to be called? Why have I struggled so much about it? I really wish I knew. I talked a bit about it in my other video. I'm saying that I felt like I was hurting God if I used the wrong one, if I used the wrong pronoun. That if I were to start really accepting he and him and his and brother, that I would be saying that God messed up somehow or whatever. But I know now that God can handle it. God can handle me and my weakness. He's not just like waiting for me to mess up. But for those of you that God doesn't enter into this picture, no pressure. I'm just talking about my experience. I just want to challenge people to ask themselves, why can't we accept when somebody dies but is still there? Can God handle our mistakes? Life is messy and complicated. Do you know any trans people? Are you related to any trans people? What's been your experience with it, and how are you dealing with it? I'd really love to know your stories. Thanks for watching, and giving you hugs now.